Okay, do you go back to the main page, my presentation? Ladies and gentlemen, sudah balik ke layar PPT-nya?
Sudah, Sir.
Fine.
Sudah, Sir.
Let me make it bigger. Yeah. So according to Knight and Terrace, I talked to just now, they mentioned that translation consists of reproducing in the receptor language the closest natural equivalent. Closest natural equivalent means the meaning is close to both two languages, and it sounds, our translation result, it sounds natural. It's not khaki, and the meaning is equivalent. If we translate book, yeah, so it becomes buku in bahasa Indonesia. Okay, if we translate the the, vu in French, it says I and you. Okay, so it has the equivalent meaning. Okay, first in the meaning, and then secondly in terms of style. Okay, we produce the text into the target text by you have to see it, the grammar style from the source language into target language. For example, the simple example is like in bahasa Indonesia, if we translate gadis cantik, in bahasa Indonesia gadis is the noun, cantik is the adjective or the to modify the noun. But in English, we don't have the same structure. In English, we have to put the adjective first and then followed by the noun. Beautiful girl. So that's the simple example. So different style, different structure. So that's the meaning of translation based on Naide and Taylor's statement. So who else states about translation meaning? So according to Brislin in 1976, translation is the general term referring to the transfer of thoughts and ideas. Yes, of course. While we are translating idiomatic expression, for example, or communication textual material, for example, in a letter, we find that sincerely yours or yours sincerely, we don't translate it kejujuran kamu, but we translate it hormat kami. Yes, we transfer the thoughts and ideas, not word per word. Okay, yeah. So that's the meaning of translation based on Brislin's statement. Okay, whether the languages have established orthographies or do not have such standardization, or whether one or both languages is based on signs, as with sign languages of them. Okay, each language has also sign languages. Okay, and of course, different language has different signs. So so that's the meaning of thoughts and ideas. Okay, when you learn later on about semantics, about the meaning, you learn how to transfer the thoughts and ideas related to the context of where or the place where the conversation takes place. Okay, and we don't see new marks. No, before new one, we have here Pinhook in 1977. He stated that translation is a process of finding a TL target language equivalent for an source language utterance. It's the same. I mean, some experts state like finding, transfer, and rendering, and etc. That they have the same meaning, guys. Means that we transfer a language into another language. So generally, translation is a transfer process. Yeah, transfer process by textual material, not oral communication. Because in oral communication, we have a different word, interpret, mengalih bahasakan directly from the mouth. But in translation, we use pen, we use dictionaries, we use papers. Yeah. So that's the big difference between translation and interpreting. And according to Newmark in 1981, translation is a craft. You know, a craft. A craft is a work. Yeah. A translation is a craft consisting in the attempt, yeah, to replace a written message. Yeah, I underline here written message. Yeah, as I told you just now, we translate written message, not oral message. And or statement in one language by the same message. The same message is here the same thoughts, the same idea, the same meaning. Okay, so that's called translation regarding to Newmark statements. And what is translation according to Mikoya in 1980? So he says that translation involves the rendering of the source language text into TLT, target language. So as to ensure that we have to ensure that the first one, the service meaning, the meaning, yeah, we transfer the meaning, and then the second one, we also modify the structure. Okay, so the first on top is the meaning, we transfer the meaning, and after we get the meaning, and then we also see the structure. We have to modify the natural structure of the target language text. Okay, so this is a very complete translation definition. I tend to choose McQuarrie translation definition because he defined it into two categories, especially, yeah, the services meaning and the structure. All right, yeah, we go on to, this is a very famous translation experts. We have here, yeah, Larson. Okay, sorry, this is still translation definition. Yeah, the same translation definition, guys. So according to Wills and Laws, a translation is a transfer process which aims at the transformation of a written SLT into an optimal equivalent TLT, and which requires syntactic, systematic, and pragmatic understanding and analytical processing of the source language. Means that syntactic means we transfer the whole words in the sentence. Syntactic means syntia, or the structure. Yeah, how to put some words becoming a good sentence. That's called syntactic. And systematic means that subject verb agreement. Yeah, in bahasa Indonesia we call it a complete sentence. Is we have subject, at least we have subject and object. That's systematic. And pragmatic means where the sentence we are speaking, to whom we speak to. For example, you, if I talk to my boss, you means here not kamu but anda. Okay, and for example in bahasa Indonesia we call it you. If we talk to a man, we call you, we translate you into pak or bapak, or we transfer it, or we translate it into ibu, bu, if we talk to a female boss. Yeah, so that's called pragmatic. It relates to the communication between whom we talk to. So we have to outline here a requirement for a good translation is we have to follow the syntactic and the sentence must be systematic, and the text, we transfer the text into target text based on the pragmatic understanding. So before we translate a text or a document, we have to read it first carefully from the first sentence until the end, so that we can know in what field this text is. Yeah. So for example, you have some dialogues in the text. Who talks in here? In the sentence, who talks and to whom he talks or she talks to. So we call it pragmatic understanding. Okay. Yeah. So the last topic for today, we learn about translation process, and then just now we learned about translation definition, and now we learn about the process of how to translate a document. Okay, in translation, as I told you just now, before we translate a document, we have to study. Means that we have to analyze all the words. Yeah. As I did at the time while I translated some, for example, at the time I translate a medical textual material. At the time I studied hard to study or to analyze the difficult words first. Yeah. So find the difficult word first. That's called studying the lexicon. And then after we studying the lexicon, the words, and then we analyze it. We analyze means we transfer the meaning. And after we transfer the meaning, and then after translating the document, we have to reconstruct. Reconstruct means we modify the structure, yeah, according to the target language structure. So we don't follow the structure of source language text, because the readers of our translation result is the reader for the native speaker of the target text. Yeah, so that's called target reader. Okay, so that's according to Larson in 1984. We have three steps or three, yeah, we call it steps. A good translation process is studying it, transfer it, and reconstruct it. Okay, so that's the process of translation according to Larson in 1984 in his book. And how about Naida and Tabor told us about the process of translation? That's not they don't have a big difference, guys. Just the choice of word. In Larson, we have here studying, analyzing, and reconstruct. But Naida and Tabor, we have here just analyze, transfer, and restructure. Yeah, reconstruct means it's the same meaning with the same meaning with reconstruct. Transfer means it's the same with analyzing, and analysis means that we study. We have to choose. We find the difficult word first. Yeah, so that's the same process, just the different choices of words. Okay. Okay, that's all about for today. Yeah, that's Mickey Mouse course for today. I just want to tell you about or to explain a little about translation definition and translation process. So I have to stop my presentation, and this is a question and answer session. If you have any question, please ask. I'm waiting. If you have. Okay, please open up the camera right now because this is a discussion session for those who can open up the camera. Ya, jadi mudah-mudahan I do hope kalian sudah sedikit understand, comprehend, sudah paham. Oh, di dalam penerjemahan yang pertama itu adalah transferring the meaning. not the structure. Well, a boy is just joining this. Who is this? Your chief of the class. Oh, he went to campus J1 for something. He told me. Ya, ada pertanyaan? Ya, ini sih hanya teori ya. Kalian bisa baca nanti banyak e-book yang menjelaskan tentang teori penerjemahan. And ya, as I told you just now, apa hal-hal penting yang kamu harus ingat itu? Satu, transfer the meaning. Ya, of course. And then sesuaikan teks itu, sesuaikan kata-kata ya pilihan kita itu, teks itu di bidang apa sih? Gitu ya. And then tadi kamu harus ingat di dunia penerjemahan itu selalu shorten words ya. Tadi ada abbreviation itu SLT, TLT atau SLTL. Yeah, it's very common. You will find those abbreviations on your daily life while you are as a translator later on your and maybe you are choosing as a translator on your work field. I do hope so. Because there are 40 or more than 40 students here, or under 40. Maybe some of you or half of you want to join a translation field. Because this is very important in this disruption era or globalization era. Because without translators, guys, some of the people don't understand any important information. Yeah, so we are as interpreters or as translators. Yeah, we are needed very much in the field of work. So don't worry. Ya, jangan ini seorang penerjemah itu tidak melulu membosankan, but it is worth it. They pay you much, yeah. Even though in the first time it is this field work is confusing, but as time goes by, I guarantee kalau memang seiring dengan waktu you love this field of work, yeah, you will be comfortable in this, ya. Jadi penerjemahan itu awalnya memang namanya juga all things in the beginning is difficult, ya. Segala sesuatu itu di awal-awal memang susah. That's called life, ya. Hidup itu tidak selalu life is not only about the beautiful ones, but also the worst one, yeah? So prepare your mentality. All right, as time goes by, you'll be more mature, ya. Yang saya minta di kalian ini bukan hanya clever, but smart, ya. Smart artinya mentalnya kuat. And then secara psikologi kemanusiaannya juga harus bagus karena kalian kan humaniora kan. So yeah, the best one of literary students ya, biasanya yang saya lihat jiwanya ya memang jiwa sosialnya tinggi. And then your presence in your social field, kehadiran kamu itu sangat dinantikan oleh orang-orang di luar sana, ya. Jadi orang-orang sastra atau yang humaniora itu biasanya dirindukan masyarakat karena bahasanya dan juga pembawaannya yang anggun, ya. Karena berbahasa itu ya memang selalu erat hubungannya dengan menempatkan diri kita sesuai dengan situasi dan kondisi. That's called language. Oke teman-teman, saya hanya bisa selalu memberi pesan kepada kalian karena jangan melulu mengejar nilai A, tapi selalu hubungkan pantas nggak nilai A itu dengan kepribadian yang kamu miliki, gitu ya. Itu yang memang selalu saya sarankan. Oke, karena kalian makhluk sosial dan kalian ada di jurusan yang mempelajari tentang dunia sosial, jadilah manusia-manusia yang lebih memang berjiwa sosial dibandingkan dengan manusia atau mahasiswa-mahasiswa yang berada di dunia eksak. That's all I want to say at the end of this meeting for today, because I see there is no any question. But if you have any question, please ask on our chat WhatsApp group. So maybe later on, while you are thinking, that's philosophy, manusia pasti selalu penuh bertanya, itu artinya manusia adalah makhluk filsafat. Jadi seiring dengan waktu kalian nanti, oh saya mau tanyakan nih, mungkin sekarang kalian tidak ada pertanyaan. That's the way I told you last week to create the group. So if you have further questions, just ask me on our WhatsApp group. Okay, can I have your yes? Do you follow me?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Nah
sir.
itu dong. Jadi suasananya hidup kan, jangan diam saja. Atau kalian mau ada pertanyaan apapun, saya tunggu dalam 5 menit. Come on.
Sir, can
Oke,
I...
kami ada. Oh iya, silakan, please. Adrian. Adrian kah itu?
Kepencet, sir.
Oh, kepencet. Saya ada nanti sebagai moderator, saya mungkin di bulan Oktober ini, di akhir Oktober saya ada webinar tentang penerjemahan juga, dan ini sepertinya salah satu pembicara ini adalah one of these keynote speakers is the lecturer for magister program in translation in Gunadarma. Kalau masih mengajar si beliau. Nanti kalau kalian punya waktu, nanti daftar ya. This is untuk menambah pengetahuan kalian. Free e-certificate of course. This is karena mahasiswa itu butuh juga nanti untuk pemenuhan sekarang ada namanya, untuk lulus itu harus ada sertifikat ini, sertifikat itu. Coba tanyakan di program studi kamu. Kamu butuh sertifikat apa sih nanti gitu. Oke teman-teman, kalau ada waktu nanti saya share flyernya. Jadi kalau ada waktu kamu daftar saja. Oke?
Oke, sir.
Baik.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
So you tend to understand, you are following all my explanation just now. I do thank you for your presence for today. And I thank you for being here with me in this translation 1 subject. And I will say goodbye to all of you. I'll see you next week. Bye. Mwah. Love you all.
Thank you, sir.
You can leave my
Thank you, sir.
class now.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Goodbye.
Bye.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.